Emily Blunt has sparred with Meryl Streep twice, out-action starred Tom Cruise, and ruled the British Empire on screen. On this blustery Brooklyn afternoon in November, the 34-year-old English-born actress, surprisingly delicate in person, given the strength she projects on film, is perched on a window seat in a Cobble Hill cafe, laughing about her first professional heartbreak. Blunt was 18 and playing Judi Dench's granddaughter in the 2001 West End production of The Royal Family. If this scenario sounds ludicrously heaven-sent, know that Blunt is the first to admit it. She never intended to act professionally, the hobby was an antidote to a childhood stutter, but there she was. Blunt, who was still living with her parents in London, had no formal training. And Dench, fresh off her Shakespeare in Love Oscar win, had kindly taken her under her wing. I was a kid and could have meant nothing to her, but every day after work she invited me to her dressing room, says Blunt, giddily recalling backstage visits from Johnny Depp and Pierce Brosnan. It was crazy to me. I was drinking champagne and pretending I knew what anyone was talking about. When the royal family came to its close, Blunt remembers weeping on the last day, like, embarrassingly crying. I was so sad it was ending. I had wrap gifts for everyone. I think I made people gift bags with whatever I could afford. And I was like, we should meet up. We should have lunch. Poor Emily, says Dench, chuckling when relayed the story. It wasn't a great play, but we had the most fun doing it. I think she was quite young and frightened and insecure when we did The Royal Family. Even then, though, Dench sensed in Blunt the tools to survive a notoriously brutal business. You kind of know with somebody's attitude, says Dench. She has a great sense of humor, which is more important than anything, a huge talent, and was ravishingly pretty. My grandson was about 6, and he fell for Emily in such a big way. Now whenever we see Emily, he is 20 now, he jokes, she'd never have gotten where she was if I hadn't kissed her. It doesn't surprise me at all where she is. I am thrilled that she is a big beautiful star. Bundled up in a parka and knit hat, Blunt arrived at the Brooklyn cafe alone, having walked from the nearby home she rents with her husband, John Krasinski, and their daughters, Hazel, 3, and Violet, 1. She greeted me as she might an old friend, extending her arms and saying, "Now, get in here for a nice cold hug." Sitting down, she ordered an English tea with what felt like a touch of skepticism that the American cafe would get it right. As of 2015, Blunt is a dual citizen of the US and the UK, but that doesn't mean she has to put up with mediocre tea. After the first cup, she switches to hot water. Blunt speaks with patrician diction and is a gifted mimic who punctuates stories with effortless impressions. Later, when helpfully directing me to a subway station, she'll note, "In Fluent Valley Girl, perfect, it's right next to Soul Cycle." Blunt laughs easily and often. She has one of the best laughs I've ever heard, says friend and two-time co-star Benicio del Toro, while recounting the story of how, as an infant, she thrust her, practically decaying, stuffed animal under the Queen Mum's nose, for a good smell, at a royal event to which her grandfather, a World War II Major General, was invited. Equipped with a polite response for every social circumstance, the royal replied, "Oh yes, I see that he is very well loved. It would be my dream just to flip houses," Blunt says. "I adore renovating. I am Pinterest mad." Blunt's large, pale blue eyes are watery and her cheeks are still rosy from the cold. Though her delicate facial features would look at home on an 18th century oil painting, her casual dress, black silk blouse and skinny pants, and slight build camouflage her among the brunching Brooklyn hipsters. Or, as she puts it, with a glint in her eye and a fleeting American accent, "I blend in real well." That ability has been a key to her success. She has slid through a kaleidoscope of mesmerizing characters over the past 16 years, most notably an enigmatic schoolgirl, My Summer of Love, an acerbic fashion assistant, The Devil Wears Prada, an ass-kicking combat warrior, Edge of Tomorrow, a baron, Sondheim singing Baker's Wife, Into the Woods, and in over-her-head FBI agent, Sicario, and a blackout drunk, The Girl on the Train. It's only after Blunt lets loose another peal of laughter that a fellow diner notices her and attempts to snap a photo, except for right now. Blunt adds, moving to my side of the table and pulling a chair in close. Usually it is Krasinski, who starred as everyman Jim Halpert on the American version of The Office, whom strangers recognize in public. John is, 6'3", and was playing the most approachable man in the world, she tells me. So people will be like, "Jim, guys want to high